Hi, good evening, everyone. It's 5 o'clock. I've just heard the bells from the church tower, so I'm going to get cracking with tonight's session. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've been listening over the last 8 days. We've had over these last 8 days more than 20,000 hits on our videos. Many of our posts are actually now receiving over 2,000 hits. So we know that lots of people have been watching. We've still got nearly £1,000 worth of prizes on offer for prospective students. I think 2 of the competitions were closed already, but the majority of them don't close until Friday. So if you or a child haven't had yet time to enter the competitions, then please do so before Friday. You've got to be in it to win it, basically. So get in there and get involved in some of our activities. Later on in the presentation, I'll try and show you where on the website you can find all of the activities if you haven't been watching them so far. We've still got a couple more days to go. Overall, we'll be doing 10 days worth of open events. Now, it's still nothing like an open evening, and I'm absolutely gutted that we can't actually have an open evening because it's my favourite night of the year at school. We have 1,000 people on our site, usually about 600 visitors, 100 of our staff, and then 300 of our current students. And we only invite about 100 of our current students, but they just want to be here. They just want to show off their school. So we always get loads and loads of them joining us. And it's an incredible atmosphere. It's got a massive buzz about it. And it's a real shame that under the COVID guidelines, we just can't do anything like that anymore. But I hope that we have done over last week and this week enough to give you a flavour of what Baysgarth School is all about. Myself, I've been out to primary schools and I'm continuing to do that this week to meet parents there. I've had parents come in to meet us here. And next week, our SEND team have got appointments as well with parents to make themselves known to any parents that have children with additional needs who might be joining us as well. I firmly believe we have the best transition programme in the area. Don't doubt that for a second, and you only need to speak to our parents and listen to what they say to know that that's the truth. Again, you can see what some of our parents say about us. There's quotes from our parents that are on our website along with the other open events. And the good news, I guess, for you, and something that's come through in my meeting with parents, is that they're worried about, will I get in? Because I know that Baysgarth School is full. We've got a building programme underway. We completed the first stage of it this summer. Second stage will be next summer. And as a result of that building programme, we will be able to admit everybody into Baysgarth who wants to come from next September. So that's really, really good news. And I'm really proud that we can say that, and people don't need to worry about waiting lists for next September. So that's really, really good news. So I hope that you will join us join us the fastest growing and most successful school in the area. So the whole point of this session is to answer your questions. We have a number of questions that have been sent in. I've got them all in front of you and in front of me, and the idea is that I will go through these and just read out what my response is to the kind of questions that have come in. I hope along with these responses and everything else that is on the many hours worth of stuff that is on our website and has been on our social media pages, you will have enough to be able to make that decision about where you want to send your child. But if you don't, then like I said, we've still got appointments being made. So if there's anything else that you need, just please get in touch and we'll try and help you out before you have to make that decision, which we all know is one of the toughest decisions you've had to make for your child so far in their lives. So on to the questions. First question here is, I was disappointed to see there is not a sixth form at the school. It feels a disruptive transition at that point in a young person's education to have to go to another school or learning establishment. What arrangements are in place from Baysgarth for A-level studies locally, and how do you support that transition? Well, I too am absolutely gutted that we no longer have a sixth form here at Baysgarth. This comes back to a decision about 5 years ago that the government made. They slashed the funding given to schools. For each sixth form student, it was £6,000 for every sixth form student. They knocked it down to £4,000, so they knocked a third off the funding. So immediately, the amount of money we had to teach sixth formers was slashed. That means that the school needs to have at least 150 sixth formers to be financially viable. Otherwise, what you end up doing is taking money that's been allocated to the year 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s and 11s and using it to subsidise your sixth form, which I don't think is an ethical way to go forwards. At that point, we closed our sixth form. That was when we were a much smaller school, of course, at that point. And you know, this is my 7th school, and all of the others have had a sixth form. So it's something that I do believe in, and I am sad that we don't have one. We are now a much bigger school. If we keep admitting year groups of over 200, then obviously we're going to be in a much stronger position, and we could look to reopen the sixth form in the next few years. But at the end of the day, Baysgarth students are very fortunate. We have subsidised or free buses to 9 different colleges from Barton. Colleges in Hull, in Scunthorpe, in Grimsby, in the East Riding. We have more choice, actually, because we're on the border between 4 authorities. We have more choice than any other school in the area, and that's brilliant for our students. And as a result, last year, 60% of our students went on to a sixth form college, and that's considerably more than the local authority average, where it was less than 40% went on to a sixth form college. We make sure we work closely with all the local providers. They all come in, they all speak to the students. We get careers interviews, we cover it in lessons. We have the IAG gold standard as well. We have a careers fair that takes place on this site. And I think one of the things we do is make sure we have impartial advice. We don't actually care where the students go next, as long as it's right for them. We've got no vested interest in any other institution. So we take a lot of time making sure that it's the right place for that particular student. And I'm very proud of that. Second question coming in says, your facilities look very good, but it feels as though there's a lot of focus on recreational activities. And our daughter is not typically sporty, but actually she's very academic. So what are the support mechanisms in place and results for core subjects like science, maths and English? Well, it's easy to think that because we have a sports village at our school and the facilities are so good at that sports village, that is the focus of the school, but that is not the focus of the school at all. That is just something that we have worked really hard to develop, because we think it's important for this community to have excellent sporting facilities open to it 7 days a week. In terms of our school, in English, maths and science, we have brilliant staff, a very settled staff and excellent leadership. I'll go through the subjects and you can see for yourself the kind of results that we've got. So in maths, for example, in 2018 and 2019, our high ability students averaged over 2/3 of a grade higher than the national average. That puts Baysgarth comfortably in the top 10% for the progress in maths. In fact, we're at 8%, top 8% in maths across the whole country, and even more so for our high ability students. So if you're a high ability student coming to Baysgarth, you will do better in maths than you would do in the schools nearby. It's a similar story in science. Again, our high ability students make half a grade better progress than in the rest of the country. And in English, for example, last year, we got 18 grades, 18 of the very top grades in English from our high ability students. So in terms of our core subjects, with great teaching and a settled staff and strong leaders, we do fantastically well. Now, in most schools, the top sets are actually your biggest sets, but not here at Baysgarth. We actually employ one-to-one mentors in both English and maths, fully trained, very experienced English and maths teachers. They're specialists at working with the most able students. They teach them in small groups with the aim of achieving the highest grades, the 8 grades and the 9 grades. So we specifically target our most able students and push them and challenge them in our core subjects of English and maths to get to the very, very highest grades. We also have lots of other opportunities for gifted students, for those gifted in music, for example. We have Perry lessons, we buy in from the local authority, lots and lots of different lessons in different musical instruments, and they're very popular with our students as well. We also have lots of student leadership opportunities for our students, some of them actually going back into their primary schools and supporting there with guided reading and even taking languages lessons for them. What I would encourage you to do is watch the student leadership video on our website, which highlights some of those opportunities that have been taken advantage of by our current student leadership team. Next question, what percentage of your students go on to vocational studies rather than classic A-level studies? So as I said, 60% of our students last year went to a sixth form college. That would be Wyke or John Leggett or Franklin College, as opposed to only, 39% across the rest of the authority. So more of our students go to a sixth form college than the average for the authority. 33%, so a third of our students went to a further education college. So that would be North Lindsey College, Giffey in Grimsby, or Hull College, where these focus more on vocational training. And 7% of our students went on to employment with training attached. So that's your apprenticeships where they are working and learning on the job. The next question, you have 4 children of your own. What secondary school do they attend? Of course, I don't have to answer that one because it's quite a private question, but I don't have any secrets. I don't believe in private education, and I would never send my own children to a private school. They go to their local school. I didn't want them to be separated from their friends. They wanted to go where all their friends were going. They go to the local school. I wanted them to be able to walk to school or cycle to school, which they do. So they go to their local school. I don't live in this catchment area, so it's not this school, but they go to the nearest school to them. It gets good results, not as good as Baysgarth, of course. I think perhaps the one thing that I notice is my own children never spoken with any great fondness or love for their school. And although that school does have a sixth form, my 17-year-old, my 16-year-old who's left school didn't actually stay on at school. He's gone to White College to study there because he just didn't feel that sense of belonging and community in his school. And that's something that I would say none of our students feel. They always feel absolutely that they have that sense of belonging here, that sense of being part of something and part of a community, which is another thing I'm really proud of. Next question, how would you describe a student that would thrive in this school environment? Well, every student, that's my job. My job is to make sure that every type of student can thrive here at Baysgarth. We are a comprehensive school. Comprehensive means for everybody. We have a strong commitment to inclusion. As far as I'm concerned, we are the school of this community. Baysgarth is the school that serves this community, Barton and the villages surrounding theirs. So it's my job to make sure that every type of student that lives in this community can and does thrive here at Baysgarth. If you look at our outcomes, it doesn't matter what type of student you are, whether you're a boy, whether you're a girl, whether you're high ability, whether you're middle ability, whether you've got special needs, whether you are eligible for pupil premium. It does not matter what your background or ability is, you will do better here than the national averages. And that is something that I'm very proud of. And that's overall. If we take our subjects, I think it's even more impressive about what kind of students can thrive. Because we have such skills in such a breadth of subjects. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We have a very settled staff here and they do a fantastic job of delivering to our students. So just for example, in art, for example, our outcomes are in the top 1% in the country. In sport, they're in the top 1% in the country. In finance, they're in the top 1% in the country. In business, they're in the top 2% in the country. In hospitality and catering, in the top 3% in the country. In photography, in the top 6% in the country. In maths, the top 8% in the country. In German, the top 8% in the country. In engineering, the top 10% of the country. And every single one of our subjects, every single one that we deliver at age 16 is in the top half of the country. So not one single subject area is below average. So I know whatever your interest might be, whether you're into sports, whether you're into art, whether you're into engineering, whether you're into business and IT and computers and gaming, whatever your interest might be, you will succeed and thrive at Baysgarth School. Again, have a look at what our students say for themselves in the student leadership video. Next question, do you think the school is right for every type of student? Similar sort of question, yeah. I've talked about success and about being able to thrive in every subject. I guess the other bit of what we do is our values. We are very, very strong in our values. And I think one of the biggest of those really is kindness. We talk about kindness all the time, and we talk about how we can be kind to others. And we praise students for when they are positive and do good deeds. They get rewarded for that and recognized for that. And that means we're in a school where I'm not saying that there are no problems, but what I'm saying is that we tolerate and accept and indeed cherish people who are different. We have students who are really quiet and shy, and they will sit down in their lunch hour and they will sit and they will read a book in the canteen and nobody will bat an eyelid. Nobody will bother them. They're just allowed to get on with it. We have students who are openly gay. They don't face homophobia or homophobic bullying. Everybody just accepts them and celebrates them. In fact, they're one of our most popular students. And that's the same. We have transgender students. We have one student who brings his pet dinosaur in and takes him for a walk down the corridors, the kind of things that in some schools you might see students being relentlessly bullied for. But here at Baysgarth, our values are so strong that people just accept that and smile and are completely tolerant and accepting. And the fact that our students feel they can be themselves and behave in the ways they want to within our behaviour guidelines, I think is a sure sign that we've got our values right and that we cherish every type of student that comes to this school. We have the highest standards. We have strength in all subject areas. We have a very caring and a very supportive staff. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, this school is right for every single type of student. And the only students who don't thrive here are the ones who choose to misbehave. They then face the choice, get it right, or you will face the consequences. And we make no bones about that. We're very strict on our discipline. The next question, can you tell us most about the English and art departments? Well, of course, we've been having departmental takeovers for the last few days. English's was on Monday, and it's the arts department's takeover tomorrow. So please tune in and watch and listen to those takeovers from all our different departments. I've said our art results are in the top 1% in the country, and our art department delivers not only art, but also photography, where we get a professional photographer, Ian, who comes in and supports the students. They also deliver graphics as well. And our English department also involves the representatives who lead on the student council, who deliver collective reading, who are in charge of our media team. And as I said before, it's a very, very stable and popular staff. Just on that, in terms of the department takeovers, I'm going to try, if I can, to show you where to find these things on the website. Now, I'm not the best on technology, so if this goes wrong, forgive me, but you should now be able to see on your screen not me anymore. So if I be able to get the website up, yeah, you should be able to see the website now. So if you've not been able to get involved over the last 8 days and watch all of the things that are going on, just go to our website because everything is on there. You see at the top this tab that says Parents. Down the left-hand side of that drop-down menu is something that says Open Event. Okay, if you click on Open Event, it will bring another screen in. And if you scroll down here, you get all of the information about our open events. So you get my welcome video that was released last week and the presentation that I did at the start of these open events. You get loads and loads of information that we put in an information pack to help you. We've got our student leadership team's presentation. And then further down, we have all other videos about the school and then the information about the takeover. So if you're interested in PE, maths, science, DT, humanities, English, MFL, PSHE, and the SEND team, all of whom have done their events already, then they are all there uploaded for you to click on and have a look. So if you haven't seen any of that so far, there is much information there. So if you're interested in one specific department, then please have a look at those resources on our website. Okay, I think I should be back now. I'm very relieved that that bit worked. The next question, as a parent, I worry about bullying. Can you tell us about your policy? Yeah, of course I can. First of all, we have very little bullying at Baysgarth. I won't say we have none. No school has no bullying. And any school that makes that claim is just not telling the truth. But we have very, very little for all the reasons we've outlined above, including our values. Second, much of modern bullying is actually done online over social media. And that's why we ban phones in school. Clear ban, sorry, we're not into that. We're not going to be a party to you bullying online. Thirdly, we have our vertical tutoring system. All of our students are in a tutor group with years 7s, years 8s, years 9s, years 10s, all in the same group. So they will have friends from other year groups, and that can help misunderstandings or some kind of rivalry between different year groups. It's easily got over by the fact that they all know students from different year groups, and that helps us to become one community without different groups going on in school. Fourthly, I employ 8 full-time members of staff whose sole job is to support our students. So if there are any issues, we can deal with them very, very quickly, and we can communicate home very quickly as well. And fifthly, we're really proactive. We have students trained as anti-bullying mentors. We have assemblies, we have ICE lessons on bullying. So students fully understand the consequences and how this can make somebody feel. We have a zero tolerance approach to bullying. In any instances that we do get of reported bullying are fully investigated. We have sanctions, and we also have counselling, and they're offered to both the victim and the perpetrator. We do a lot of work on ensuring that students fully understand what bullying is. Actually, many of the things that are reported to us as bullying aren't bullying at all. They're just falling out between students or somebody doing an unpleasant act, whereas bullying is actually an act that is repeated time and time again. All of our learning managers at Baysgarth have completed a diploma in counselling, and that means they have the skills to counsel and support both victims and perpetrators. And one of our heads of house is an anti-bullying coordinator who leads on anti-bullying initiatives across the school. Okay, next question. What trips does the school normally plan? I understand that COVID will affect these, but I just wondered what goes on. Yeah, good question. So the school runs on average over 100 trips every single year. That's an average of nearly 3 for every week of the school year. And of course, they start right from the beginning of year 7, when in the first fortnight, when students start with us in year 7, we take them all down to Elsham and we have a whole activity team building day together. So right from their start, they're involved in trips and visits and giving them special experiences. I firmly believe that students will get experiences at school they may never get anywhere else in their life. So we try and make the most of them. We have our annual ski trip, of course, and then we organise student leadership trips that are designed to develop leadership skills. We've done those to London, we've done them to Liverpool, we've done them to New York. The next one coming up is to Cornwall. We try and go to different places to give them different experiences. And of course, we also have our Outlook expeditions, where students have to raise the money themselves to go to places such as China, Mongolia, India, Southern Africa, and Morocco, all of the places that we take our students to give them a completely different experience of the world and to do some volunteering and community work abroad as well. We have revision trips to PGL, where our Year 11 students spend the morning revising, and then the afternoon they go out and do PGL adventurous activities and things like that. And so the stress activities are then relieved by some of the other activities, and they've been really successful. We visit lots of different colleges and universities to give them a glimpse of the next stages of their life. We go on cultural trips to theatres and museums, sports trips. I've been down to Wembley to watch England on a school trip, and we watched England netball team as well on school trips, and various other challenges, STEM days, maths challenge trips, and of course our reward trips at the end of the year. And the Green Power racing car goes all over the country racing that. Last year it went down not only to Hull City Centre, which was a fantastic experience, having the whole of Hull City Centre coned off while we raced around that. And also it's been down to Silverstone to race in the national championships there, where it did phenomenally well. So loads and loads of different opportunities. And the next question relates to that as well, because it says, what type of after-school clubs are available? So we have lots of after-school clubs. We run late buses so that students can attend them. But what we're doing more than that and over and above that is this year we built into our curriculum and into our timetable what we've called Inspire Time. So this is 90 minutes every fortnight to get the students in years 7, 8 and 9 to try out something new, different, or to develop a specialism that they've already got. So we're running 34 different activities at that time, anything from archaeology adventurers, card making, a couch to 10K course. We do digital games developer, fashion and textile design. You can do a future chef course, gym fitness club. You can learn Italian, learn what it's about, the justice system, and do a mock trial. Take a mini psychology course, have a movie making Oscars project, and on and on and on and on and on. A huge range of courses that we do in the curriculum, and that's all about giving students opportunities to succeed in maybe something that's a little bit different. We actually got the idea from Bowmandale, one of our local primary schools, who do a similar sort of system, and we thought it's such a good idea, we should be doing this at Baysgarth as well. So we're bringing that into the curriculum as well. Next question is, are there opportunities to learn about cooking and baking? Well, it's bake-off season, isn't it? So yeah, this is on everyone's mind. Of course, yes, everyone studies food at Key Stage 3, and of course they can take it for an option at Key Stage 4, and they can also do cooking as part of the Inspire time as well. Last year we did a pop-up restaurant. Our GCSE students ran a pop-up restaurant with celebrity chef Mark Lloyd, who came into school and worked with them. It was a brilliant experience. Our food tech teacher is absolutely wonderful. Last year, she also made a successful bid for £15,000 worth of funding for extra equipment for our food kitchen. And that's the kind of person she is, go-getting, inspiring, and we have very healthy numbers taking food at Key Stage 4. Next question, do you offer careers support? Well, we have the careers gold standard, which is the highest you can get as a school in terms of the level of support that we give. We have an annual careers fair, so careers companies and colleges come into school every year, and every student gets a chance to go and talk to them about future careers. We have careers interviews and appointments. Every year group gets an employability experience as part of what we offer. And in year 9, we spend the whole of the first term doing a different type of curriculum linked to employability skills. So that's very much focused on their next steps and developing the skills they need for that. Vulnerable students we take to colleges. We support them all the way through the transition program. And I guess the most important thing for me is, and one of the unintended but positive consequences of us not having a sixth form, is that we offer completely unbiased support. It always felt a little bit uneasy when we had a sixth form. Students that maybe Baysgarth sixth form wasn't the right place for them, we were still trying to get them to come here, because getting the bums on seats so we could get the money in so that we could run the sixth form became almost more important than the students making the right decisions. Now, we are completely unbiased. We just want every child to make the best decision that they can make for their future. So every college, every provider, everybody comes in and does assemblies for our students. They then have the full knowledge to make an informed decision about their future. Even this week, I know many of our students are filling in their college application forms for next year. Many of our Year 11s are doing that already. We get these things done nice and early to reassure our students and make sure they're fully prepped for the next stage. And some really good news that we've had this week. Over the summer, we bid for some extra funding for the school, and we've been awarded an extra £35,000. The bulk of that is going to be to employ an employability mentor for the school. Their job is to arrange more employability experiences for our students, and also to look at arranging work experience opportunities for our students in the local community. So if you're out there and you run a local business, and you think you might be able to offer something for our students to come and do some work experience with you, then we'll be getting in touch with you soon and seeing if we can do something from next September onwards for our Year 10s and our Year 11s. Okay, next questions. What is planned to improve the IT provision with the school, particularly at Key Stage 4 level? Yeah, I guess what I'll say about that is it's taken us 3 years to find the right IT teacher for our students. We've tried to appoint an IT teacher 3 years on the trot. For the first 2 years, we just didn't find anybody good enough. And I will never appoint anybody to this school that I don't think is good enough to teach our students. So we now have a really good IT teacher in place. And all of our students in Year 7, 8 and 9 study IT as a core subject, with the option to develop this in Inspire time through those digital tech games developer and digital animator courses that we run. IT has been added to our options program for this year, and our IT facilities will continue to grow. At the moment, we have 4 dedicated IT classrooms, including the media suite. We've got 2 more classrooms coming on stream for September 2021 as part of our building plan. So then we'll have 6 dedicated IT classrooms. We've got 4 new Chromebook trolleys. They're 30 laptops or Chromebooks in a trolley that can be wheeled from one classroom to another. So we've got 4 new ones in circulation this year to complement the 4 that we already have on site. And therefore we have a mixture of laptops, Chromebooks and iPads. So we do have really excellent IT facilities within the school, and they are only going to grow as we move forward. And I'm really pleased that we've now got an excellent teacher who's going to be delivering first-class IT education across the school. Next question, we'll be offering more foreign languages in future. Well, currently we offer 2 languages, French and German, same as all the other schools around here. No other school offers more than 2. But we hope as the school continues to grow that actually we'll be able to appoint another languages teacher. And another languages teacher, maybe that will give us the opportunity to offer another language as well. We do have bilingual students in the school that often sit the exam in their other language, whether that be Spanish or Chinese or Polish, or all subjects that we've entered students for over the last few years. And as I mentioned earlier, we do Italian as well as an Inspire activity. So there are lots of opportunities to study lots of different languages here at Baysgarth as well. We're nearly there, by the way. If you're getting bored, this is now on to the last question. So will more formal homework be introduced instead of or in addition to flipped learning? And in brackets, context. Lockdown has highlighted that some children don't find it easy to work at home, particularly on more substantial pieces of written work. So regular homework might help develop a self-directed study mindset. Yep, I think that's a fair point, and I would say that that is what we are trying to do. I think at Baysgarth, the attitude I've always had to home learning is it has to be consistent. There's nothing worse than one class getting loads of homework in English, say, and then another English class not being given any homework at all. And that sort of approach that is inconsistent amongst our different students has never been one that I favour. So I've always favoured a more central approach where we know exactly what every student is doing. And from that came our expert learner framework, something that we're in our 3rd year now of offering out. And we're all about trying to develop those transferable skills that will give the students everything they need to be successful in life, help them with employability and everything else. So our expert learner framework is based around that. And for the last couple of years, we've had Ren printing some wonderful expert learner folders for us containing all sorts of amazing opportunities for the students to do. Could show that they can be successful in all sorts of areas. If they're not particularly academic, they still have fantastic opportunities to succeed with some of the flipped learning activities, which can be anything from cooking a meal for a family, for a fiver, to over a period of time walking or running a half marathon, for example. So they are stretching and challenging, and they do develop those transferable skills. Where we are at the moment with lockdown and a lot of our students missing a term of school or 6 months of education, really, we have added to that flipped learning baseline, if you like, and we brought back in more traditional home learning for each of our different subjects. This is part of our closing the gap strategy to try and make sure that all of our students do not lose out as a result of the time lost from education. So yeah, the homework that we've got now is actually considerably more than we've had in the past, because we've got that combination of the expert learner framework and the activities that go along with that. And then also we have home learning for all of our different subjects as well. So there is definitely a rigor there that will give the students the skills they need to be successful. Those are all the questions that we have had from everybody coming in over the last week since we opened this up for questions. So it's taken us, about 35 minutes to go through all of those. So I want to thank you for your time and for sticking with us. This session is recorded, so if there's anything here that you wanted to watch again, or you want to alert anybody else to and say it's worth a watch, they answer some questions, then do so. It will be on that screen on our website that I showed you earlier on. Reminder that we've still got prizes available and that those competitions for the most part don't close till Friday. So please feel free to get involved, have a look at all the stuff that's on our website. I hope you agree with me, Baysgarth is a wonderful place to be. I love being the head teacher here. I've got a brilliant staff, I've got amazing students, and this is the strongest community that I've ever worked in my quarter of a century in education. And I'm not going anywhere soon because I just absolutely love it here. So we believe that Baysgarth is more than a school. It is more than a school, and because of that, we are growing really, really quickly. And I hope that that you will join us for the next 5 years, and we'll only go from strength to strength in that time. So thank you very much for listening. Take care, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye.